It has been raining all day. It has dropped down into the 70s. We've had a major thunderstorm all day. So it doesn't really feel like a really nice summer evening, but we need dinner nonetheless, and it is summertime. So tonight I am making some homemade Coney sauce to go on our chili dogs, and I thought you might like to see that. So let's head into the kitchen and try out a new recipe. So first I am starting out with 1 pound of some 75% ground beef. They said that you should have more of a fatty meat, and then you can also traditionally add beef hearts, so half and half. This is more than a pound. I'm just going to do the whole thing and we'll go with it. But this is the 75% lean, just ground beef. The recipe actually called for 4 pounds of meat, and I'm just doing my best to cut this recipe into a quarter because my family does not need a huge pot of Coney sauce. I could freeze it, but I've never made it before, so I want to make sure I like it before I do such a large quantity of it. I will leave this tool linked down in the description box for you. I found like one for $3 at Dollar General. You can find them on Amazon, which is what I will link for you. Occasionally you can find a red Betty Crocker one at Dollar Tree for $1.25. So this is such a great tool to get all the meat ground up. See, our power is flickering on and off. I'm hoping I can get this done before we lose power for good. Hopefully we don't lose power for good, but we'll see. Next, we're going to drain off all the grease from our beef. Well, the recipe calls for half of a quarter cup of flour and then a quarter cup of oil. And we're just going to stir this and keep cooking until it looks like the color of peanut butter. All right, this is the color, but it's not as thick as his was. And I know for a fact his recipe was double the oil as it was the flour, but that's not how thick his was. So I'm just gonna add this, whisk it really fast so it doesn't burn. Let it cook for another minute to get the flour cooked and not be raw. Next, we're going to add about a half a cup plus 2 tablespoons of beef broth. Have that set aside, and then we're going to mix all of our seasonings. Now we're going to combine our 2 different broth mixtures, the roux and slurry. Get that all combined, and then we're going to add all of our spices. And half a tablespoon of vinegar. You can feel it's really starting to thicken. So we're gonna add in our beef. And if it's too thick for you, you can add some more water or beef stock.
Smell it?
Can you smell? Yeah. Smell. I am so excited. It smells and tastes just like I remember whenever I ate them growing up. All right, so of course we're not gonna be using the grill out in the rain like this. So I'm just using my cast iron. I do this quite often. Put a little bit of water in there so that they can help steam. And then the water will evaporate and help just grill them up a little bit. And then of course we've got our chili Coney sauce. We'll serve that with chips. And then a watermelon, and I'm gonna share with you how I like to cut watermelon. All right, now keep in mind, you're not going to want to cut off the watermelon more than you're going to be eating in the next day, day and a half, because it will just get soggy and really gross. So I'm just going to cut off about a third. And it smells so good. And then I'm just gonna slice it right down the middle, slices like this.
Then you can just cover the open end of your watermelon with saran wrap and stick it into your fridge until you're ready to cut into it again.
The weather didn't clear up a whole lot. It's not raining anymore, but it's still kind of overcast and just a weird day. But we're gonna roll on with our summer meals, and I'm gonna share with you today our Bonsai burger. So if you've ever been to Red Robin, you may be thinking about the same burger that I am, and it's one of my absolute favorites. I'm gonna try to recreate that again, and I think you're going to enjoy it, so let's get into the kitchen. Now our grill is falling apart, so I'm just going to be baking the burgers on a sheet pan, and the grease just is such a mess. I'm going to line my pan with foil and then use this and let the grease drip from under there. I'm just using some frozen patties. If you're going to bake your burgers, you're gonna want them frozen ahead of time. So if you're just using meat that you purchased by the pound, go ahead and patty that out, make your burgers and let them freeze individually, and then you can go ahead and lay them on the sheet pan. Just remember, anything that you find in the freezer section, you can create and freeze yourself. So burger patties is such a great thing for beginners if you're wanting to start freezing some things and not purchasing the convenient items. This is actually such a great deal for these burgers at Costco. I buy the grass-fed beef, and it's actually cheaper to buy them in patty form than to buy them by the pound in a package. So this is a fantastic deal. But you can save money at your local grocery stores usually by purchasing just a pound of meat. I'm also going to season my burgers with some steak seasoning. You can use the Montreal steak. This is the Kinder's, and just get that all coated on top and get them into the oven at 400 degrees. Now, if you don't have a seasoning blend like this, you can create your own just by mixing some salt, garlic, and pepper. These are the fries I'm going to use. They look like they're seasoned really well, and it's just the Kroger brand. I know if you can find the Rally's fries or the Curly Arby's fries, those are delicious as well. But these are gonna be great. I've had the Great Value brand, and they're just as good as the name brand. So we're gonna go with these today. Now, of course, there's all different kinds of ways that you could cook these. If you have an air fryer, I'm going to put them in my oven on a high heat. 425 is what they suggest, and you can also spray them with a little bit of oil just to help them get a little crispier. But that is my plan. It says 10 minutes, flip and bake for another 10, but usually to get them crispy, it takes about 30 minutes. So I'm probably going to give the burgers another 15 minutes and then add in the fries, see if that gives us a good time frame to get both of them fully cooked. And in the meantime, we're gonna work on our sauce. So the Bonsai burger over at Red Robin has like a teriyaki sauce. It's so good. So I'm going to go a little semi-homemade. Instead of making a teriyaki sauce from scratch or buying teriyaki sauce at the store, which you could totally do, I'm going to mix some things with barbecue sauce and then get the kind of flavor profile that I want. So add a little less than a quarter cup there. Add about a tablespoon of soy sauce and tiny, tiny, tiny bit of ginger. A little bit goes a long way. So not even a quarter teaspoon. I'm gonna add about the same amount of garlic powder, and then we're gonna add honey. So probably about 2 tablespoons of honey. And then we'll just mix this all together. Could always add some more brown sugar to it if you want. I'm gonna add just a touch more of soy sauce. So the burgers have been in for about 15 minutes now. Got the fries in, and we're going to work on the rest of our toppings and side dishes. Just flipping these over. That way they can start browning on this side as well. Scrape off some of that. So I just tested one. They are fully cooked. The tops haven't browned very much, but I know the other side did. And I'm going to be adding mozzarella cheese to the tops, and then just stick them back in the oven to let them finish melting all that cheese on top. And you could also use a Havarti or a Swiss provolone. I think just a good mild white cheese would be great for this. Now I'm just going to give these a nice stir. They're getting nice and golden on the bottom. So of course we have our fries, some watermelon. I've got extra pineapple that's gonna have to get used up or put into a bag for the fridge. We've got our grilled pineapple, our burgers. You put the sauce on it, lettuce, and then if anybody wants to do a different kind of burger, they can. I have all the things for that as well.
Next, I am making Doritos salad, and if you've never heard of this before, to me what makes it unique is the fact that you're using both Doritos and French dressing. So stay with me.
I like to add onion whenever I'm cooking ground beef. It just helps get all the extra flavor into there. And then I also don't wait until the meat is fully cooked to add my seasoning. I'm gonna add this taco seasoning while it's still cooking. But a little bit of this one goes a long way. It's pretty spicy.
Rather than draining my meat, I'm going to use a paper towel and help soak up some of that excess grease. It has a lot of flavor in it, so you don't have to get rid of all of it, but this trick really helps. Now you can make this like any kind of taco bar that you want, but again, my opinion is that the French dressing makes it. So I'm going to be using my mixed greens, romaine lettuce. You can use hot sauce, sour cream, tomatoes, any of those things that you want.
My version is to add Doritos to a bowl. We're going to add some meat. I'm doing Colby Jack cheese. Just gonna stir that all up. We're going to add our dressing. And then I'm also going to do some sour cream, which in our house is usually some Greek yogurt, just to get extra protein, less fat. We're also going to do some lettuce or greens. And tomatoes. And just to make this more fun for the kids, we're having them back in the Dorito bag and they can eat outside.
For our next dinner, I just made some individual flat pizzas with some chicken Caesar salad, and it was so simple, so delicious, and it makes a really great lunch too. When I make grilled chicken, I like to butterfly the chicken breast. That way it's thinner, it's easier to cook, easy to slice. And once I had that done, then I just seasoned it with some good garlic seasoning, mix, blend. You can make your own, of course, if you want. And then I just cooked it in my cast iron skillet with a little bit of avocado spray. And then I prepped my salad. So I used 2 hearts of romaine, chopped that up and put it into my salad spinner. And I will leave this one linked in the description box for you. I waited and waited to buy one because I didn't want to pay full price. And I was so excited I found it at Goodwill for I think $4, brand new in the box with all the packaging. So it's amazing. I loved how this one worked. It's definitely worth full price, but you know, if you can find things used, then it's even better. But I just made my Caesar salad with 6 tablespoons of Caesar dressing. Our favorite brand is the Marzetti, which you get in the cold section over in the produce area.
I was really excited to find this on clearance. I got 4 pieces of naan here for $1.49. And then I have this entire very large jar of sauce for $1.39. I'm going to just use this as the base, but you could also use pesto or an Alfredo sauce. Individual pizzas like this are so easily customizable for everyone in the family because everyone can have their own sauce, their own toppings, their own proteins. So whether you're using naan like this, bagels, or even if you're making your own pizza dough from scratch or the stuff that you can buy at the grocery store, it's so much easier to just make them smaller, individual pizza size, and then let everyone get involved and make their own however they like. So mine is usually going to have a lot of vegetables in it. I love using peppers, especially because I can find them on clearance. And I also wanted to add mushrooms to mine. I like adding onions sometimes. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. The kids, of course, love pepperoni. So whatever you have in your fridge, your pantry, whatever you've been able to find on sale, if there's something that you need to use up, you've got a bunch of spinach left in your fridge. Pizza is a really great way to use up those leftovers. Anything that's in your fridge that is just a little bit here, a little bit there that you don't know what to do with. Barbecue sauce, put it on some chicken, and now you've got barbecue chicken pizza. So get creative and come up with new flavor profiles for pizza that you may not have thought about because you're trying to use up what you have. Using naan for the crust is one of my favorite things, not just because I can find it on clearance sometimes, but it crisps up so much better in the oven than a traditional dough, and you don't have to use a nice pizza pan with the holes in it in order to get the bottom crispy. I'd love to hear what's on your summer meal plan, and of course, until the next video, I'll see you in the comments.